I became a BA when I was working in corporate training for a law firm. There was a new computer system being introduced to the firm, and I was viewed as a subject matter expert by the company that came in to install it. As a result, I ended up becoming what you refer to as an SME, which is a subject matter expert. Now, over the course of that project, I developed a skill set akin to some of the business analysis work I do today. And through that, I discovered that I really liked and enjoyed that work. And what that then meant was I decided to go do further study, start to do the various BA qualifications, and started out as a junior BA a year or so later, and then progressed into a full BA role. So the best thing about being a BA is the daily variation. So no two projects are ever the same. It's not monotonous. I like that as a BA you're always learning about new areas of business as well. So there's always something new and something interesting as part of your day. Work is highly interactive and you get to work with people from all areas of the business. I also enjoy and get a lot of satisfaction from breaking down complex problems in order to help facilitate the direction a business takes. So in my experience, there's no such thing as a typical day as a BA. On any given day, I could be found analysing data, facilitating workshops, working with the project managers, working with developers to help refine requirements, writing up requirements, defining use cases and system cases. It kind of depends on what stage of the project you're working on, but that's one of the best things about the role itself, is the fact that no 2 days are ever the same. Okay, so BAs are important because we really help a business to solve problems and make decisions more effectively. It's very useful for a business to have somebody in-house who can go away and research new developments in the industry, identify problems which they may have, which they may not fully be aware of, and then be able to bring that back and present that in such a way that you can help inform the decision-making process. Salary is going to depend on, the salary for new BA will depend on a variety of things. So it can depend on, firstly, kind of how qualified you are going into the role. Some people transition into being a BA from being a project manager, for example, and will probably command a higher salary. If you're just coming out of uni, or if you've just moved into the role from a more junior position, a junior BA can generally expect to earn around about £28,000. With a bit of experience, I would say probably 2 to 3 years, you can expect to be earning somewhere between 35 and 50, depending on which part of the country you're in, and again the industry. In terms of career development, business analysts have actually got quite a lot of prospects in that regard. Some BAs are generalists and enjoy working with process and people. Others are more technical and prefer to work with closely with solutions architects, and some prefer to work right across the board. I know from experience in my own organisation, we have people who specialise in changes around the financial area of the business. Some people prefer to focus on changes around marketing, while others will want to work across all of those different specialisms. As a consequence, if you specialise in a particular area, there's often routes into management positions in those departments. Or alternatively, you can maybe look to progress to becoming a solutions architect and getting into how you actually define the end solution of a product, or maybe move into project management, or even managing departments or teams. So there's quite a lot of potential career routes you can take out of a business analysis career. You're just about to start on a BA career or just about to do a BA course, the advice I would give you is don't feel like you have to use and utilise every single thing you learn at the start of your career or on a course in every single project. More often than not, it's about learning which tools to use for a particular piece of work or a particular piece of analysis, and everything you learn will be useful and will have value, but sometimes learning when to use something is just as important as learning what to use. Other thing would be that there's an awful lot of autonomy in a business analysis role, so you need to be quite organised and you need to learn how to manage your time quite effectively. But finally, the most important thing I think for any BA is that you should never be afraid to ask questions, even if you feel a little bit silly asking the question. There have been times when you will see people afraid to ask a question up front, and then you can get several weeks along in a project and you may then end up have the wrong information because you've not been clear at the outset. The most important feature of a BA is being able to deal with nuance and fine detail. You need to be able to do that in order to do your job effectively. So never be afraid to ask a question up front. It might just save you a lot of aggravation in the long run.